Chapter 609. But then Chang Mu's saw Hu Liancheng lying by the toilet. His head was drooping and there was water on his hair. His eyes were closed. It was unknown if he was asleep or drunk. "Fourth brother, do you want to die?" Chang Mu's asked. "Just now, your stomach was punctured, and you still dare to drink." Chang Mu's was very angry. The smell of alcohol made him want to vomit, but he still helped Hu Liancheng up. He then carried him out to let him lie down. Hu Liancheng did not even look up. He reached out his hand to touch the wine bottle on the bedside table again, but it was empty. "Where is the wine?" Hu Liancheng's voice was low. His eyelids were half lifted as he looked at Chang Mu's. His eyes were bloodshot. "Fourth brother, you can't drink anymore." Chang Mu's looked serious. "Do you want to die?" "Don't worry about me." Hu Liancheng wiped his face and ignored Chang Mu's. He went back to the cabinet to get the wine. Chang Mu's was angry. He could not help but complain. "I was far away from the country. I rushed back as soon as I finished my business. I didn't even have time to eat. I came to see you. Now that the outside world is in chaos, if you continue to be so dispirited, not only will the Liao and Hu families be finished, the other families will also be affected. It's not like you don't know how crazy Hu Chengfeng is." "None of my business." Hu Liancheng opened a bottle of wine and took a big gulp. "Why is it none of your business? Have you forgotten that Hu Chengfeng almost killed you and King Cheng back then? Even if you have forgotten, then you don't care about Sister Jian anymore? Aren't you afraid that Hu Chengfeng will cause trouble for Sister Jian?" "Yes." Chang Mu's paced back and forth in the ward like an ant on a hot pan. The Cheng family was also one of the subsidiary companies of Hu's. If Hu Chengfeng was allowed to continue like this, these subsidiary companies would be in trouble once Hu Chengfeng took full control of them. Hu Liancheng suddenly heard Sister Jian's name and frowned. His nerves had been numbed by alcohol for too long, and he couldn't react for a while. He just felt that this surname was so familiar. Chang Mu saw that Hu Liancheng seemed to have heard it and was overjoyed. He was about to continue working hard to move people, but he did not expect Hu Liancheng to raise his head and gulp down the wine again before he opened his mouth. "Hey, Hu Liancheng, did you hear what I said? You really don't care about Sister Jian?" Chang Mu's was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. "She doesn't want me anymore, so why should I care?" Hu Liancheng was in a daze. "I don't even know what to say about you." Chang Mu's was so anxious that he finally stood in front of Hu Liancheng and asked him seriously. "I'm just asking you. Do you believe Sister Jian?" Hu Liancheng looked at Chang Mu's. "It's not that I believe her now, but that she doesn't believe me." "Have you ever thought about why she doesn't believe you?" Chang Mu's asked. Hu Liancheng suddenly froze. "Look at you. You are so smart. Why are you confused now? Someone had lured Sister Jian to the hotel on purpose. Otherwise, how could she just happen to know that you were there?" Chang Mu's took off his glasses and scratched his hair in annoyance. He continued, "There's definitely something wrong with that woman, Orphe. I saw that the two of you coincidentally got wet that day. Someone must have deliberately arranged it. The news of you in the hotel was also leaked to Sister Jian by that person. Liao family?" Hu Liancheng's eyes turned deep. "I think it's Hu Chengfeng. Think about it. Who will benefit the most from your lethargy? Haven't you seen how Hu Chengfeng has been dominating the Liao family these past few days?" Chang Mu sighed. "Fourth brother, I'm not talking to you. Now you are saying that Sister Jian doesn't believe you. So what would you think if you saw her in a hotel room with a man in a mess of clothes? Would you believe that she and that man didn't do anything? In any case, I don't believe it. Yeah, that's why I'm at a loss for words right now." Hu Liancheng sat on a chair by the window. His hand was shaking as he held the bottle. At this time, a loud voice suddenly sounded at the door. "What nonsense! If you don't fight for it, you will only hide here. You are a coward. You little rascal. When you were young, weren't you a total jerk? You're fearless, but when you grow up, you become a coward instead of a coward?" The voice of the person who spoke was already very old, but his aura was astonishing. He hadn't arrived yet. The voice was like a bell chime, shaking people's hearts to the point of trembling. Hu Liancheng and Chang Mu's bodies shook. Hu Liancheng immediately stood up and strode out. When he saw the person who came, his face was full of shock and disbelief. After a long time, he called out with his lips, "Uncle? You little brat, do you know me? Look at you. Don't say that you are Liao Zongrong's most proud great-grandson when you go out," Chang Mu said with a smile. "Uncle, The old man was leaning on a cane. His hair was silver and his face was very old. However, he was full of vigor and vigor. His ears were bright and his eyes were bright. He did not look like a man in his 90s. Uncle, why are you here? Hu Liangsheng had not recovered from his shock. Old General Liao Zongrong was the founding general of China. He enjoyed supreme glory. No one in the older generation did not know about his illustrious reputation. However, after he retired, he went to his hometown and spent his days in the countryside. He rarely asked about the Liao family. Hu Liangsheng did not know why old General Liao would appear here today. It's because of you, brat. Shufan is very worried. I'm going to die of boredom if you go to my place and cry. General Liao glared at Hu Liangsheng and walked straight into the ward. Hu Liangsheng hurried over to help him, but old General Liao waved him away. Go away. Go away. His body reeks of alcohol. It smells awful. Hu Liangsheng was a little surprised. He was born with a father who didn't love his mother. He grew up in the Liao family. He was with General Liao at that time, and he doted on him the most. This was one of the reasons why Liao Zongli and his son valued Hu Liangsheng so much. Uncle, where is my grandma? Hu Liangsheng looked back, but did not see Granny Liao. She knows she did something wrong and broke up the two of you. She knows she has no face to face you again. Old General Liao sat on the chair and put his walking stick aside. He looked at Hu Liangsheng with a straight face. His wrinkled face showed a hint of disdain. Zongli is right. The Hu family specializes in love. Both of you are like this. Hu Liangsheng's expression changed, but he did not dare to refute old General Liao. He could only lower his head and remain silent. Unexpectedly, General Liao changed the topic. He suddenly sighed and said with endless sadness, "Why didn't I meet a woman that I will never forget? I have never met her before I married her. Didn't I have a good life as well? Whoa, actually, I am still a little envious of you all who are infatuated with the surname Hu." Hu Liangsheng and Cheng Muz looked at each other. The change was too fast for them to react. All right, show some courage. You are Liao Zongrong's great-grandson. Let's see what you look like now. General Liao suddenly slammed the table and ordered Hu Liangsheng with a serious face. Cheng family kid is right. It was you who gave people a chance that made your wife misunderstand. Since it is a misunderstanding, let's solve it and find out who the mastermind is. Whoever makes your wife unhappy, cut him. If you hide here like a coward again, be careful that your wife really ran away with someone. Liao Zongrong made a chopping gesture. His face was full of excitement. He was in high spirits. Hu Liangsheng, on the other hand, was a little confused. These days he had been too preoccupied with depression. How could he forget that those people who were showing off outside were his enemies? All the people who had humiliated Jian Yun were his enemies. That's right. Fourth brother, you have to pull yourself together. If you do this, you will only make those who are close to you feel pain and hate faster. Furthermore, I keep feeling that Sister Jian is not that ruthless. She has no less affection for you than you. Even if you have misunderstood, you still have to explain. But she seems to be too decisive this time. There must be something wrong with her abnormal behavior. There must be some hidden reason behind this. Cheng Muz rubbed his chin and immediately turned into Detective Conan. Hu Liangsheng's heart shook when he heard that. Something seemed to have flashed through his mind, but that thought was too fast for him to grasp. Well, Liangsheng, great-grandfather has something to discuss with you. Liao Zongrong saw that Hu Liangsheng's spirits were lifted. He knew that his words had worked. At this time, he suddenly rubbed his hands, looking very embarrassed. Taiyang, say it. That's right. Taiyang knows that the Liao family has done some indecent things. As for you, Taiyang has no objection to punishing the Liao family. But can you help your uncle first? Liao Zongrong got angry when he mentioned this matter. Thinking about how he had fought for his entire life, he had earned respect by risking his life. The family rules of the Liao family that he had established were upright and unyielding. Who would have thought that Liao Shigong would do such an ugly thing of bribery in order to suppress political enemies? Liao Zongli and the others had been keeping it from him all this time. This time, the higher-ups came to investigate. The Hu family was in chaos. Not only did they not help, but they also wanted to add insult to injury. Liao Zongli and the others wanted to find the Mu family, but the Mu family insisted on marrying Hu Liangsheng. As a result, the situation became worse and worse. Until now, things had gone out of control and even ruined Hu Liangsheng's marriage. Taigong means Hu Liancheng narrowed his eyes and looked at Liao Zongrong. There was no expression on his thin and handsome face. Cut them off. Cut them hard. Don't save me any face. Liao Zongrong said angrily. I'll get angry when this is mentioned. If I don't deal with it properly, my family business that I risked my life for will be destroyed by these bastards, with the surname Liao. Taiyang, your surname is also Liao. Hu Liancheng's mouth twitched. Cheng Mu's couldn't help rolling his eyes. Someone actually called his son, his grandson, the son of a turtle. He had lived for a long time. Yeah, it's not important anymore. Liao Zongrong waved his hand like a withered tree branch. He was very bold. Anyway, I don't have any opinion on how you cut them, but… General Liao's face suddenly darkened. He stared at Hu Liancheng with a serious face. After all, he was a general who had killed countless enemies on the battlefield. Even though he was old, his momentum was still shocking. Hu Liancheng stood at attention subconsciously, just like when he was beside General Liao when he was young. His expression was also serious. Kid, you have to understand one thing. Even if you have extraordinary abilities, you still have to understand. However, if the Liao family falls, it won't do you any good. Old General Liao said slowly. Time passed slowly. In the blink of an eye, the blazing summer season had entered the cool autumn season. When the leaves turned yellow, the leaves flew everywhere, and the cold wind began to wreak havoc. Winter had unknowingly arrived. Qing City. Xian Yun woke up early in the morning. Recently, she had been craving for food to the death. Every day, she would scratch her heart and scratch her liver, wanting to eat and eat. Last night, she did not know what was going on. Suddenly, she remembered that Wuji's family only provided 100 soup dumplings a day, and her appetite was immediately aroused. Saliva splashed everywhere. She could not sleep no matter how much she drooled in the middle of the night. At dawn, she got up. It was to snatch the soup dumplings. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to buy them if she went too late. However, Xian Yun was worried as soon as she pulled the curtains open. There was a layer of silver wrapped around outside, and it started to snow. Furthermore, the snow was quite heavy. This was the first snow in Qing City this year. At this moment, the sky was filled with snow. The trees on the ground were all white. Yunduo, it's snowing. Don't go out. Be careful of sliding on the ground. You will fall. Yang Fei's voice came from the room with deep concern. Got it, Mom. Xian Yun walked back to the sofa in disappointment and sat down. She picked up her phone and swiped it. At this time, a WeChat notification sounded. It was Wu Wenjing's voice message. Xian Yun, are you up? Yes, I'm up. Xian Yun replied. Come down. I'm downstairs. Let's have breakfast together. It's snowing. It's so beautiful. Wu Wenjing's voice was very excited. Xian Yun immediately got up and looked up to see Yang Fei walking over with her scarf in her hand. She grinned. Mom, come with us. I'm not going. I made porridge. Auntie Quinn will come back today. Yang Fei saw that Xian Yun was dressed neatly and could not help but shake her head. Her face was full of love. Put on the scarf and a pair of skin-proof shoes. If the snow is too heavy, quickly come back. I know. Xian Yun replied and took her wallet and phone. She turned around and walked out of the door. Wenjing was already waiting downstairs. When she saw Xian Yun coming over, she quickly opened the door and helped Xian Yun into the car. Why are you up so early? Xian Yun took off her scarf and unbuttoned her coat. She comfortably stretched her legs on the back seat and looked at Wu Wenjing with a smile. I woke up from my urination and got up. Then I saw a certain greedy cat in the middle of the night posting saliva on WeChat moments. Haha. Wenjing drove very slowly. It was still early, and there were not many people on the road. Xian Yun saw the snow flying outside the window. The scenery was so beautiful that it made people drunk. Then why don't you drive faster? If you drive later, you won't be able to eat. Xian Yun did not feel embarrassed. Instead, she urged Wenjing. Don't worry, you can eat. Wenjing said with a smile. 20 minutes later, Xian Yun and Wu Wenjing entered the Qinghu city's famous Wuji. It was just that when Xian Yun saw so many people, her heart turned cold. There are so many people. I definitely can't eat them. Hey, over here, over here. Suddenly, Luo Yanyan's voice sounded in Xian Yun's ear. She looked up and saw Luo Yanyan waving at them with a table. Xian Yun immediately became happy and walked over with Wenjing. After sitting down, she winked. Did the two of you make an appointment? You still have the nerve to say it. Didn't you post pictures in the middle of the night? Luo Yanyan deliberately rolled her eyes at Jian Yun, destroying my diet plan. I want to settle it with you. Eat first. Finish eating and then settle the score. Xiaoyun saw Luo Yanyan open a steamer drawer, and her eyes immediately lit up. She quickly picked one up and stuffed it into her mouth. Then, with a face full of happiness and satisfaction, she said, I finally ate it. It's good to eat. Come, eat more. It's all yours. Wen Wenjing and Luo Yanyan looked at Jian Yun's fair and tender face and felt both emotional and happy. That bright and beautiful Jian Yun finally came back. Jian Yun ate heartily and was very satisfied. When she looked up, she found Wu Wenjing and Luo Yanyan were looking at her intently. She immediately shook. Hey, you two, why are you smiling so kindly? What a scary smile. Wenjing could not help but roll her eyes and pointed at her own face. How is it kind? You are so young and beautiful, but you make it sound like you are in your 70s and 80s. Luo Yanyan pursed her lips and patted Wu Wenjing. All right, eat your food. I still have to go back to work later. The three of them chatted and laughed. Jian Yun was very satisfied with the food. Before she left, she still needed to pack a serving and bring it back. Wenjing asked her to sit and went to settle the bill herself. At this time, the big LCD TV hanging on the wall in the early morning suddenly jumped to the morning news set in Imperial. At the beginning, when the international news was broadcasted, no one paid attention to it. But with the appearance of a familiar name, the Wuji morning tea shop suddenly quietened down. No one noticed that when the woman sitting at the table in the corner heard the name on the TV, her face immediately turned pale. The broadcaster was reporting the news of the CEO of the Imperial Cloud Group inspecting the companies under the company. The man in the video was dressed in a well-ironed handmade suit. He was tall and handsome, but his face was cold and stern. His eyes were full of coldness, and he gave off an aura that could repel people thousands of miles away. Even so, he could not hide his noble aura. Many female customers in the morning tea shop cried out in surprise. Oh my god, it's Hu Liancheng. He's so handsome. Damn, how can he be so handsome? I really want to marry him. The news was still going on. The discussion in the shop was getting louder and louder. The female customers were all staring at Hu Liancheng's face, which could turn the world upside down. The male customers started to talk about international affairs. However, their focus was on Hu Liancheng. Did you guys see the news? It turns out that Ho Changfeng was the son of the illegitimate son of President Hu after the internal strife in Hu's. These days, all kinds of news and gossip have been published by the Hu family. It's impossible for us not to know about it. That Hu Changfeng is also very powerful. He single-handedly turned the entire Hu family upside down and almost destroyed it. Have you guys heard? Hu Changfeng and Hu Liancheng are brothers of the same mother and half-father. Hu Xiangqian stole Hu Changfeng's father's wife back then. That's why Hu Changfeng hates the Hu family so much. Big families are really chaotic. When those familiar names were mentioned again, Jian Yun's face became even paler and her hands trembled a little. Luo Yanyan was a little worried. Jian Yun, let's go. Jian Yun raised her head to look at her, but her eyes were at a loss as if she was not listening to her. Luo Yanyan held Jian Yun's hand, and at this time, Wenjing also came back. When she saw Jian Yun's expression, she knew it was not good. She did not want the desserts on the table that she had not finished and pulled Jian Yun away. But the surrounding discussions were so loud and the news on the television was still going on. Those words were like the wind and were everywhere. It was hard for Jian Yun not to hear them. Speaking of which, this Hu Changfeng is also audacious. In order to take revenge on the Hu family, he actually stirred up foreign capital and wanted to disrupt the domestic economy. No wonder the Hus continuously purchased a few small consortia. He even used all kinds of means to threaten those big families. It is said that the America Octagonal Building also intervened. This Me country is the worst. They just want to destroy the economy of China. If Hu Changfeng succeeded this time, the lifeline of China's economy will be controlled by the US. The consequences will be unimaginable. What about now? What's the result? Some people didn't seem to understand the situation and hurriedly asked. Speaking of which, it is really soul-stirring. A man gestured with his mouth, indicating that the person who asked the question was a man who was watching the TV with a cold face. This is going to start from Hu Liancheng. Back then, he was forced into such a desperate situation by Hu Changfeng. It is said that he needed to marry the Mu family in order to turn the situation around. Who would have thought that he actually had a backup plan? That cloud group looks like a small company on the surface. Who knew that they had so much capital? Even General Liao came out to support Hu Liancheng. Over the past few months, he and Hu Chengfeng had been fighting fiercely. Finally, they had a higher level of skill. A day ago, they had submitted evidence that Hu Chengfeng had colluded with foreign capital. If the crime was verified, Hu Chengfeng could be sentenced to death. After all, it is a crime of treason. Yeah. Just thinking about it makes me feel scared. It is not easy for our country to develop. If the US becomes the boss of the largest group in the country, it will stir up chaos in the country. But I don't understand. Since Hu Liancheng is so capable, why couldn't he protect his wife back then? Why did he let others insult her and mock her online? In the end, the divorce ended. This time, it was a woman who asked the question. A woman's focus was always different from a man's. Men like to talk about national affairs, and women usually cared more about the relationship between men and women. It must be that his wife is not beautiful enough, or that she is old, or that a younger and prettier woman has appeared. Those rich people are fond of new people and hate old people. It's not that he doesn't want to protect them, but that he simply wants to kick her and find a new one. Otherwise, which man would be willing to force the woman he loves to have an abortion? Those who do this kind of thing either don't want to take responsibility, or they are too scum. Obviously, Hu Liancheng belongs to the former. The man smiled knowingly, as if he felt that what he said made sense. Xiang Yun was about to walk out at this moment. When she heard the man's words, she suddenly staggered, scaring Wu Wenjing and Lu Yanyan until their faces turned white. Fortunately, the two of them were close, so they hurriedly supported her from left to right. Are you okay? Luo Yanyan held Jian Yun's hand tightly, her face full of concern. Don't listen to those people's nonsense. You are the best. It was that person who was blind. Wenjing was indignant. With her temper, she really wanted to immediately rush up and argue with those people. But now Jian Yun's situation was special, and she was afraid of causing unnecessary trouble, so she could only forcefully suppress it. Let's go. Luo Yanyan was also afraid that Wu Wenjing would not be able to resist her violent temper. There were people coming and going here, and it would not be good if they pushed Jian Yun. Xiao Yun's face was very pale. She did not speak the entire time. She pursed her lips and did not say a word. She only lowered her head and walked out. But at this time, the three of them were standing at the most conspicuous place in front of the door. This pause made them pause. When they stopped, someone looked at them. Immediately, someone exclaimed in surprise, "What a beautiful lady!" As soon as this voice sounded, it immediately attracted the attention of even more people. In an instant, exclamations sounded everywhere. It said that women who are above 80% won't appear on the streets. Am I seeing things? Someone rubbed his eyes. The other two are pretty too. Why is this girl so familiar? I think I've seen her somewhere before. Someone scratched his chin. Does she look like some celebrity? Which of those cosmetic surgery stars are so lively? This is the first time I've seen such a beautiful girl.